Game 1 of the series is now history.
Coming up, a special World Series edition of News 4 tonight from San Diego and Detroit.
Tuning into the Tigers all over town. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. I'll have the story.
I got to watch the game with the original Jack Morris fan club. I'm Margie Reedy. I'll tell you all about it.
People who are immune to tiger fever. I'm Deborah Silverstein. That story coming up.
I'm Mort Crim with Carmen Harlan. Fred Hickman standing by with highlights.
Eli Zaret and Al Ackerman are in San Diego with reaction from the players.
Brian Teglin's in Weather Watch, and we'll have much more right now on a special World Series edition of News 4 tonight.
I have taken on many fighters and tried many beers. One beer isn't a class by itself. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great, and it's less filling. It weighs in at a third less calories than the regular beer. Yes, I discovered your greatest beer, but I never met your greatest fighter. Hey, who's this Billy Martin anyway?
Billy Martin, he's warm, he's gentle, good looking too.
I got to meet this guy.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
That's NBD Banking in action. As the largest bank in the tri-state area, NBD has helped many companies like this. Helped with financing, cash management services, with NBD expertise. NBD knows it's important to put its strength to work, helping business and this area's economy. Concern like that helps make NBD one of America's great banks.
Winter, it hits hard. Fight back with a snapper snow thrower, armed with a tough steel auger, a discharge chute that adjusts 200 degrees to toss snow out of your way. Buy now and get a free electric starter and no payments for 90 days. The snapper snow thrower. It makes you want to go get winter.
Available at Mark Small Engine in Northville, Manus Power Mower in Royal Oak, and Keck Hardware in Trenton.
The KGB is no match for the NYPD today at 4:30.
The Tigers win, and from San Diego and Detroit, this is a special World Series edition of News 4 tonight. And bless you boys, now the skeptics know why the Tigers are favored to win it all. With the Tigers winning Game 1 of the 1984 World Series, Jack Morris pitched in the tradition of Mickey Lolich. He survived a rocky first inning and then paved a winning game, mowing down the San Diego Padres. Thanks to the strong pitching of Morris and some timely hitting, the Tigers beat the Padres 3-2 to take a 1-game-to-none lead in the World Series.
You know, the official ratings aren't in yet, but we have to believe that most Detroiters were near a television set and watched tonight's game. Fred Hickman of our First Four sports team watched it very closely.
Fred is in the newsroom right now with a recap of the key plays in tonight's exciting game. Fred?
Well, thank you, Mort and Carmen, and there were plenty of those key plays, but the big factor is 1 down and 3 to go. Game 1, the most important game of the World Series, that most classic of fall classics, is on the books, and Detroit comes away the winner. Here's how. We'll pick it up right in the first inning of play for you, and we'll take a look at Jack Murphy Stadium, one of America's most beautiful cities, San Diego, one of my favorites. Lou Whitaker led off the Tiger first with a booming double. It gets over Bobby Brown's head out in center field, and it's important, of course, for the Tigers to score early in this series. Whitaker in standing up. It was a 3-2 pitch from Padres starter Mark Thurman. Alan Trammell hit next, got another 3-2 pitch and drove it through the left side, delivering Lou Whitaker. With the first World Series run of 1984, Trammell was forced to stop at first, Martinez's strong throw being cut off. Big play holding him to it, stopped him from scoring. Nobody out. Thurman, with one of the best pickoff moves in the National League, caught Trammell going, picked him off. Here's Jack Morris, kept the Padres leadoff man Alan Wiggin off in the first, but could do little with number 3 hitter Steve Garvey. Garvey with a single to right field. Netos followed with a single, and then Terry Kennedy got both of those men around with a double to right. This one rattles around in the Tiger bullpen, but that ball is in play according to the stadium's ground rules. Kennedy took third on the throw-in. Dick Williams, the Padres manager, pleased, of course, to have a 2-1 pad to work with. Clapping and cheering his boys on. Sparky Anderson, the Tigers manager, smelling trouble. However, there would be no more this frame. Padres showed some tough D in the Tigers' second. Chet Lemon is robbed of a hit by Greg Nettles' play at third. Nice to have a plucky veteran or two around. Alan Wiggins followed suit, same inning, taking a sure safety away from Darrell Evans. Remember, Wiggins is a converted outfielder, playing his first full season at second base. In the Detroit fifth, Kurt Gibson walked on and got what Trammell got in the first, and that's picked off by a good Thurman move. Too bad, too, because Lance Parrish followed with a double down the left field line. Now, this one gets under the bunting out there. Watch it disappear. That's a ground rule double in San Diego. Gibson would have gotten to third, and he stayed on, that is. But Larry Herndon's homer, which followed, would have been a 3-runner instead of a 2-run job. However, the shot to right does get Detroit ahead in the game 3-2. That, of course, is the most important thing, game-winning RBI. In the 6th, Chester Lemon joined the hit parade. The single, which came off reliever Andy Hawkins' first inning of work, Chet's first single in 16 playoff at-bats. But Chet is wiped out when Darrell Evans' little lazy liner finds Garvey like a heat-seeking missile. Lemon did not have a snowball's chance of getting back, and nothing could be done about a double play. Now, a big jam gotten out of by Jack Morris. 2 men on, nobody out. He fans Bobby Brown, then Carmelo Martinez, and then Gary Templeton to put down the Padres' uprising with no damage done. Now, coming up, we've got the Tiger defensive play of the game. Happened to the Padres' 7th. DH Kurt Bevacqua hits one down into that Tiger bullpen, and he gets on his horse. He smells 2, and then he thinks about 3. But Gibson's throw is relayed by second baseman Lou Whitaker to Castillo at third, and the leadoff man is out of there by inches. Nice piece of teamwork. Jack Morris, superb all evening long. He got the distance, retired the last 7 Padres he faced in order. Templeton grounds out to Dave Bergman at first base, and that, as they say, is the old ball game. Tigers up in the World Series, a best-of-7 affair, 1 win tonight. Well, those are your World Series highlights. I'll be back later on News 4 with more sports, including some news from the gridiron. But right now, the Tigers are 1-up. Carmen, Mort?
Still enjoyed watching it, too. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
We'll hear live from Eli Zaret in San Diego in just a few minutes. Mort?
Well, the Tigers have a way of bringing people together, and now that they're in the World Series, it seems just about everybody's finding a way to keep track of the games. News 4's Kevin Kerrigan has been out and about tonight watching people who are watching the Tigers. We're not even sure exactly where Kevin is, but we presume you know, Kevin.
Well, Mort, I'm over at the Lindell AC here in downtown Detroit, and we're in the midst of the first of what Tiger fans hope will be 3 more nights of celebration. It didn't matter that this was a Tuesday night or that the Tigers were playing thousands of miles away. This is the World Series, and Tiger fans turned out here at the Lindell and elsewhere to be a part of it together and watch the Tigers win.
One of the biggest bashes was thrown by WOMC at the Hyatt Regency. These people could have stayed home on a Tuesday night to watch the game on TV, but for them, it just wouldn't have been the same.
What brings somebody like you out on a night like this when you can watch it at home?
A winner and sharing it with the rest of the people in the city.
I'm keeping up with my kids.
Did they drag you along?
No, I dragged them along. I was here first today, and they followed me.
Wherever there was a TV tonight, a crowd began to gather. Here, Comerica Bank executives take a convention break to find out the score. In fact, wherever you were tonight, it wasn't hard to keep track.
You know what the score is?
1-0.
Thursday will be a travel date. And
not much could stand in the way of the dedicated fan, even if it meant standing ready with a load of quarters to stay tuned to the Tigers.
2-2 to Darrell Evans.
Well, we're back now live with Jimmy Boutsicaris here, #1 Tiger fan and owner of the Lindell AC. Jimmy, you saw the game tonight. You've seen a lot of Tiger games. What did you think?
I think it was superbly played, out of this world. I think everybody played to their potential. It was a team effort. It was just a well-played game, and the competition was great.
They gave us a tough time in the early going.
Yes, they did. But for some odd reason, the Tigers have a way of bouncing back, and I thought they would bounce back for some odd reason.
What's your prediction? How long is it going to take before we wrap this up?
I think 5 games.
Okay. Okay, we'll see if it happens. Of course, not everyone turned out to tune in to tonight's game. A lot of people enjoyed the game in the privacy of their home, and Margie Reedy is standing by at a special home of some people that had a very personal stake in tonight's outcome. Margie?
Absolutely, Kevin. I have it much luckier than you. I think it's very quiet here, although you should have heard the uproar when that last pitch was thrown. I'm here at Jack Moore's house. These are his parents. I was here with his sister and some friends. There was not a more nervous group in town. We watched every play, analyzed every move, and we sweated every inning. They were making me nervous. Let me tell you, there was some nail-biting here tonight. With the family all assembled and Dada on the mound, the Morris family was ready for a victory.
Strike one!
I want this guy to get out.
Strike him out!
The family was so dedicated to baseball, they even sold their house and moved one time so the 2 boys could get into a league. His dad remembers when Jack lost a close one in Little League.
he come off that bench and he was just sobbing, just crying. And most of the young ball players there, they kind of looked at Jack as, you know, some oddity or something. He was really heartbroken. And the coach come up to him and he told all the ball team that he says, I'll take all of the crybabies that have a heart like that in the game that I can get.
Well, Marcia, how do you feel tonight as the girl who had to shag all the balls for her brothers? I think it was worth it.
I don't know. This just seems natural, you know, consequence. Jack has dreamed of this for so long that, you know, I mean, it's exciting and one of those rare moments that you hope will happen, but, you know, don't all ball players hope that happens, and it never does for them. But
what do you think when you watch Daddy? Do you tell him how to pitch, and do you root for Daddy? Yeah. And we hope that he will have a moment like his father had tonight. Mr. and Mrs. Morris, this was something. We survived it. I didn't know if we would.
Well, I'll tell you, this was a real sweater, boy. There was a couple of serious innings. Jack was in trouble, and I don't know whatever it is, luck or fortune, but Jack had the ability to bail himself out, and after that he come on later innings real strong, and we're really excited. That first game, getting that first win, that's the big counter.
I think what did it was Mrs. Morris talking to him the whole time.
I do it every game. I told him in the sixth, well, Jack, you got 2 on. All you have to do is strike out the next 3 batters, and that's what he did.
It worked. It certainly worked. You know what surprises me is that you don't seem that surprised that your son is pitching the first game of the World Series. Did you always expect this?
Well, the World Series is, I'm sure Jack was under a great deal of pressure. You know, he tries to shrug it off and be as calm as he possibly can. But this World Series thing is a big thing. It's a big thing for the city of Detroit and all the ball players and all his public. And it's a pressure cooker. It's a big game to win, and I'm glad it's under his belt.
We are too. All of Detroit is proud of your son tonight. No one more than Mr. and Mrs. Morris and the family. Back to you, Mort and Carmen.
Well, it sounds like they've been coaching him through a lot of games, through Little League and Major League.
No greater pride than a parent has, right? Thanks, Margie. Our congratulations to the Morrises on their son's success tonight.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. You know, while most of us saw tonight's game on television here on Channel 4, some members of the News 4 staff are in San Diego to provide team coverage of the World Series.
We're going to go out right now to San Diego live by way of satellite for the post-game perspective. From there, starting with Rich May. Rich?
Okay, Mort and Carmen, boy, what a thriller this was out here. Now, I haven't been to a World Series game since I was a little one, and I'll tell you, it's a great thrill just to be here, and a particularly great game, of course, out here tonight. Predominantly Padres crowd, obviously. They let us know it from time to time, too, out here. They were loud and boisterous, and for a while, boy, I'll tell you, we were sweating it. A lot of anxiety here, but finally, in the end, it all worked out fine. The Tiger people were here, a smattering of Tiger fans here and there around. They had a good night also tonight. And now one step closer to that ultimate goal of the World Series championship. And the fans, well, they're ready. And here is how they saw it.
I see about 50 games a year in Detroit.
You're confident about this series?
Yeah.
You're going to do it? You got any prediction on when?
I think they'll take them in 6.
The Tigers, there's not a chance for the Tigers. That's a shoo-in. First of all, you have to realize that the whole thing is ridiculous. The Padres should just go home.
I think they'll win. I hope they do.
You got any predictions on how long it's going to take?
Well, it might in 6 games.
They're the best. I'm for 4-0.
They're going for 4-0?
4-0. We haven't lost one yet. Why settle for anything else?
2 sisters, originally from San Diego. This one still lives here. Who's going to win this series?
The Padres.
You're sure of that?
No way.
This one lives in Sault Ste. Marie. Who's going to win?
The Tigers are going to win.
Okay, game 2 tomorrow night. Dan Petrie on the mound. It was a great evening here tonight. Eli Zaret standing by with a guest. Let's go to Eli right now. Eli?
Pitching coach Roger Craig, the mother hen of the top pitching staff in the American League. Just describe the performance of Jack Morris tonight, if you would.
Well, Jack got off to a slow start. He hung a split finger to Kennedy there for the double, scored a run to triple, but he just got better and better and better. And Spark and I talked earlier about maybe bringing in Willie to pitch the last 2 innings, but he was pitching so well and getting stronger that we left him in the ball game. It was a powerful performance and a game that Jack Morris, he just seems to rise to the occasion, and it seems like he can turn it on when he wants to, and he turned it on tonight.
You talked Sparky out of it, didn't you, bringing in Willie?
Well, not really. We just kind of discussed it, and I just said, you know, let's leave it in there, and he agreed with me. You know, we both were thinking the same thing.
That striking out the 3 guys to end the 6th inning, that was, that to me was the key in the moment of the game.
Well, that was the key to the ball game when he struck out the side with man on first and second. And then the other key, which hurt them, was when Bavaco was thrown out at third base when he slipped a little bit coming around second base. But it was a great ball game and a good performance by Jack. And I look for Dan Petrie also to pitch well again tomorrow.
Roger Craig, thank you very much. Let's call somebody, Marty Castillo, who started the game at third base. What was the feeling like out there, big guy?
Awesome. This is the greatest feeling of my whole life after coming, you know, watching it on TV when you're a little leaguer and then dreaming one day you're going to play in it, and all of a sudden it's here. It's fantastic.
What moment stands out most? There were several things. Jack fanning the 3 guys. As Roger said, Bavaco at third. What stands out?
I think the 3 guys striking out, Jack was awesome. I think they were clocked at, looked like they're going 105 miles an hour up there, and looked like those are the best pitches Jack's made all year, and after the first, second inning, he settled down and went right to his game.
Marty, congratulations. You played a good game, too. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Awesome. Awesome is the word from San Diego tonight. Back to you, Mort and Carmen. We'll be back a little bit later in the newscast.
I was telling Mort we'll get Marty Castillo a picture with his, or a glass with a picture on it for when he gets back. Thank you, Eli.
He can have anything he wants when he gets
right.
back. Thanks, Eli.
You know, we've seen how most people in the Metro Detroit area found ways to follow tonight's game, but not everybody was keeping tabs on the Tigers. News 4's Deborah Silverstein caught up with those people who, by choice or by chance, were not watching the game tonight.
You didn't exactly have to stand in line to buy something at Hudson's tonight, but there were some people who chose shopping over the World Series.
Well, my wife had to show me a pair of boots that were on sale tonight.
How did you win?
And as soon as we get the boots, we're heading home to watch the game.
Well, it's like the Olympics. You get sick of it, too much of it, you know, such a little short time.
The best place to work at Hudson's tonight was, of course, the video department. Employees from the rest of the store kept calling the employees here all night to find out the score. And some people who didn't plan their evening around the World Series still couldn't resist coming by to watch the first pitch. Tiger fans and people who weren't so concerned with the big game mixed well at Sparky Herbert's restaurant tonight. Here you could eat dinner in a back dining room or root the boys on at the bar.
It's not a baseball bar. We have resisted having televisions in the past, and then we did bring in the televisions for the playoffs and the World Series because our patrons wanted to see what's going on with Tiger Fever. And
I feel so terrible.
I know.
It was dollar night at the Beacon East. Usually the theater is packed, but not tonight.
Figure I'm only going to miss like maybe the first 4 innings of tonight's game. So I can get home, see the ending of it, see how it turned out.
You forgot?
Yes, all the advertisement, I forgot.
Some moviegoers may have forgotten, but the people who had to work at the theater tonight did not.
What do you think about all the people who've come here on World Series night to see the movies?
They're terrible. They should be home rooting for the Tigers.
Terrible or not, there is a small minority of Detroiters immune to the seasonal illness called Tigers fever. Deborah Silverstein, News 4 tonight.
It takes all kinds. To clear up one question asked about the San Diego Padres, each player has the initial R.A.K. on the left uniform sleeve. Now, those initials stand for the late Ray Kroc, the man who owned the McDonald's hamburger empire and who owned the Padres. Some media wags have dubbed this the Fast Food World Series because of the McDonald's connection for San Diego, and Tom Monahan, of course, of Domino's Pizza owning the Tigers. Of course, as we all know, Domino's delivers.
And also ahead, we'll be going back live to San Diego for more from Rich Make, Al Ackerman, and Eli Zaret with our World Series team coverage.
And we'll see Walter Mondale's campaign bandwagon pull into Detroit with a full tank of high-test confidence.
And we'll show you an unusually talented Polish dog. No joke.
The only difference between these 84 Corvettes is the gasoline they're using. This one accelerates faster with Amoco Premium Lead-Free. It's Amoco's highest octane lead-free and the same high-performance gasoline that helps solve engine problems like knock and run-on in your car.
It's lead-free from Amoco. We go that extra mile.
Some people worry about getting muscles. I worry about getting fat. Dieting doesn't keep me in shape. Exercise does. I work out hard, and I get results. All you need is Victani. It's worth $24 a month.
Join now for 12 months for just $24 a month.
What would you rather have, fat or muscle?
Let's, you boys.
Looking for fantastic fall savings? Turn to Crowley's anniversary sale to find page after page of money-saving values on women's coordinates, sleepwear, junior sportswear, fashion accessories, and shoes, handsome dress shirts, and young men's sportswear. Smart buys on fashions for your family and your home. For bestsellers in every department, start saving today during Crowley's spectacular anniversary sale.
It's Crowley's, looking so good.
Now, there's a gasoline that will help get top performance out of your car. Now, there's a gasoline that will eliminate knocking and pinging in virtually every car. Now, there's a gasoline with the highest octane available anywhere, 93.5 Ultra. You can't buy it from Amoco, Mobil, or Shell. It's only available from Sunoco, 93.5 Ultra, the ultimate in octane.
There's a world of sight and sound waiting for you.
New York Video World.
New York Video World, Michigan's #1 video specialist.
New York Video World.
Presidential politicking is as thick as the fog over the Detroit area this week. The challenger was here today. The incumbent comes here tomorrow. President Reagan and Walter Mondale seem to be continuing their Sunday debate long distance. Today at White House ceremonies in which he signed a bill for assistance to the elderly, the president refuted claims that he'll reduce aid to future Social Security recipients.
I think that is a statement that I've released has been made clear. That's exactly what I meant the other night.
Walter Mondale came to a foggy Kennedy Square in downtown Detroit today. The crowd was enthusiastic, and apparently the candidate was too.
In the tradition of Democratic candidates for president, I come here to Kennedy Square, where we always come when a campaign shifts into high gear.
Mondale's campaign in Kentucky got a boost today from the president of the UAW. Owen Bieber made several stops in Kentucky to show his support for Mondale and other Democratic candidates. Each of Bieber's stops was well attended by the news media, but most of the questions were about the progress of negotiations between the UAW and Ford and the voting on the union's tentative contract with General Motors. Carmen?
Some General Motors locals have turned down the tentative agreement with the UAW, but union leaders are hopeful of passage in areas that are UAW strongholds. 50,000 members are eligible to vote in the Flint area this week. Local leaders are confident of passage there. And while talks continue between the union and Ford, bargaining bargainers say that developments at GM do not influence them.
Dealing in any connection with the General Motors agreement. We said at the outset that we were working toward a settlement on behalf of the Ford workers with the representatives of the Ford workers. So therefore, we genuinely have not paid attention to what is going on at General Motors.
Ford and the UAW are working toward a midnight Friday deadline to reach an agreement. As of tonight, that is not a strike deadline. Mort?
Well, Game 1 of the World Series is now history, as all of us know. We're going to be going back to San Diego in just a minute or so to hear how the Tigers felt about this game. First, a quick check-in with Brian Teglin in Weather Watch. And Brian, it was perfect in San Diego. How about Detroit tomorrow?
Excellent weather in San Diego, although if I'm not mistaken, lightning struck at least a couple of times out there. The weather in San Diego tomorrow night for Game 2, or should I say tonight, now that we're a little bit later. Tomorrow night, just about the same, maybe a couple of degrees cooler. Present conditions in Detroit right now, currently 64 degrees at City Airport, 61 Metro. Humidity 87%, the pressure is 30.31 and rising. The wind is calm. Quick look at the forecast for tomorrow now. We expect the fog to be lifting, although there'll be some hazy sunshine expected later in the day. 70 to 73 degrees for a high with southeast winds at 5 to 8 miles an hour. That's a quick look at the weather. I'll be back a little bit later in the program, give you an extensive look at the weather for the rest of the week. And, of course, when Game 3 and 4 comes back here, we'll have the Detroit weather for later on in the week. Mort?
Well, the Tigers certainly provided the sunshine tonight, didn't they?
Indeed.
Coming up, the Challenger and a not-so-ladylike Josephine.
Plus, we'll hear from the entire First for Sports crew, and it's a big crew. Al Ackerman, Eli Zaret, Al Kaline, George Kell, and a cast of thousands as this special World Series edition of News 4 Tonight continues.
A glimpse of the American presidency from General Motors. Opening day, 1910. President Taft throws out the first ball and sets a new tradition. Later in the game, the president decides to stand up. So does everyone else. Thus is born the seventh inning stretch. Not every man is big enough to create two national traditions in a single day. But William Howard Taft had no trouble at all.
Every new car program at General Motors has to prove itself the hard way. Again, and again, and again, and again. We think you'll agree it's worth it, just to be on the safe side. Nobody sweats the details like GM.
Today in the United States, hospital costs continue to rise faster than the cost of living. But there is a way to reverse this trend that is already working in several states. It's called fair payment, a system where hospitals receive fair preset payments from everyone. Fair payment, a proven way to contain rising hospital costs, supported by America's life and health insurance companies.
Right now, when you buy CertainTeed attic insulation, you'll get more than high-quality, energy-saving fiberglass. You'll also get a $1 rebate. In fact, you'll get $1 back for each of the first 40 rolls of CertainTeed R19 you buy. Of course, an offer this good can't last forever, so look for the CertainTeed Buck-a-Bundle rebate display at participating dealers now. You'll save money, saving energy.
AT&T redefines the public phone booth. Slip into one in hotel and airport lounges across America. The advantage is plain to see. AT&T.
Tigers only need 3 more games now. Do you know who one of the happiest people alive has to be right now?
Oh, I can think of a few, but you tell me who you're thinking about.
The author of that great phrase, "Bless you, boys."
Al Ackerman. In fact, we're going to go back to Jack Murphy Stadium, where Al Ackerman and Eli Zaret are standing by. How do you feel?
Well, we feel pretty good. I know Al feels good. I do, too. And Al, as the 30 camera lights in the hall there, the Tiger players came down, and Sparky looked at them all and said, "That's one, boys."
That's one, boys. The interesting thing is they have a rule here that you can't come in until 5 minutes have elapsed. They have to have time. Meanwhile, all the Tigers had moved out, and this horde of camera people, and all of us rushed in to find no one there. Surprise. But we did find Lance Parrish, and Lance took the time to tell us about Jack Morris's tremendous performance tonight, and he talked about the great defensive play where Gibson got it to Whitaker, over to Marty Castillo, cutting down Bavacqua, who was heading for what looked like would have been a triple in that inning. And that 6th inning, when put 2 men on and the 3 strikeouts.
I thought he did a great job. You know, I think their scouting report was when he got ahead of hitters for them to sit on that split finger pitch, and even though they were sitting on it, he got a few up, and they were just able to, you know, to get around on it. But that ball that Kennedy hit in the 1st inning was just that exact situation. He had 2 strikes on him, and or 1 strike on him, and threw him a forkball, and it just hung up in the strike zone. So I more or less think that they were sitting on that for the most part. But we started coming in with a few more fastballs, and you know, everything started clicking in, and he was throwing the ball very hard tonight, and I think his fastball is what got him through.
In that 6th inning, Lance, what are your feelings? 2 men on and putting 3 away that way.
Well, this is you know, you're always on edge here the whole game, and that was no exception. You know, you get a situation like that with a couple guys on, nobody out, and get out of it, you have to feel very fortunate. But, you know, Jack just pitched an excellent ball game. Things went our way in that inning, and we'll take it.
They also went that way on the the man who tried to extend Bavakwa trying to go for the triple. A hell of a play, wasn't it?
Well, it was an excellent play on Gibby's part. You know, that ball kicks around in that bullpen down there, and you never know what's going to happen. But he got the ball, came up with it, and threw it right to Lou, which he was supposed to do. He made an excellent play on it, and Lou made a very good relay throw. So when you get two plays like that, you know, things are supposed to work out.
A couple of good hits for you, too, Lance. Thank you very much.
I'll take them,
okay. He was emotionally drained, too. These have been tough games. In Kansas City, extra innings, a one-run game. Tonight, another one-run game. He looked a little tired, but a little happy, and I'm going to go back into that happy locker room to talk to some of these people right now.
Yes, and no time to rest yet. They got about 3 or 4 games at least to go. George, Kell, and Al Kaline watched the game tonight from right above the dugout, and let's go over to them for their impressions of what transpired here in the dramatic first game of the World Series. Gentlemen?
Okay, Eli, I tell you, it's tough sitting down there watching the ball game. I don't think I can stand much more of this, Al, but a gutty pitching performance by Jack Morris.
Well, Jack Morris looked like he got in all kind of trouble in the first inning. He got a couple of fastballs up. They jumped on, Kennedy jumped on the first fastball, hit a double down the right field line, and I thought he got his split finger fastball going, and that way it made his fastball look a little bit faster.
Yeah, it looked like Lance Pear said on the interview that they were sitting on it for a while there, but he began to get it over real good. He made Garvey look bad. He struck out Brown in the 9th inning. I thought just a great performance.
Well, it was great. You know, we needed something like that. The first game is always the toughest one, and I think you'll see the guys come out tomorrow and be a lot more relaxed. I think we'll see more runs put up on the scoreboard. They may not win, but I think the biggest game, the first game, is always the toughest, and I think you'll see a much more relaxed Detroit Tiger team tomorrow night.
How about Whitson? Ed Whitson, the pitcher tomorrow night. What can we look for?
Well, I was asking the coaching staff. I hadn't seen too much of him, but they say he's a lot like Keeson out in California, and I think we should do pretty well. He throws pretty hard, but he's right-handed, and I think the Tigers can handle him pretty well.
Well, the Tigers have beaten 2 tough left-handers in a row now, one to win the playoff, and one here tonight, but they didn't make many runs. You think maybe more relaxed, a little bit more at ease, they'll score some runs?
I think so. I know they're awful nervous. I know I was nervous sitting watching. I'd much rather been on the field, but, you know, it's very tough. Most of these guys have never been in a big game like this, even though they all said the playoffs were the tougher, but it's awful tough when you know millions and millions of people are watching.
Well, what a great way to start a World Series. And now back to you, Eli and Al.
Thanks, George. And we'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock on the early news, then again at 6. Of course, our pregame show at 7:30. For now, that's it from San Diego, where the Tigers, yes, have just won a dramatic 3-2 ball game to open the World Series. Back to you, Mort and Carmen.
Great. Thank you, Eli.
Yes, thank you. We'll be checking in with you tomorrow, of course. That is our absolutely entire Channel 4 sports department. Save one.
Good.
Save one.
Except Fred Hickman. And I was going to ask Fred, you know,
Straw
after the
that stirs a drink, right?
Is there anything else happening in sports tonight? I mean, we've all been talking about that.
Amazingly enough, yes, there is. I had to dig a while to find it, but it's here. The Houston Oilers. We've got NFL football to talk about. The Houston Oilers have granted the wish of running back Earl Campbell today. Campbell today traded on to the New Orleans Saints for the Saints' top draft pick in 1985. Now, it's a fact that Campbell, the 1977 Heisman Trophy winner, was unhappy when Bum Phillips was fired by the Oilers, but now he's back with the Bum, and he leaves Houston with no hard feelings at all.
I've enjoyed it. I've accumulated a lot of things, and when I talk about a lot of things, I'm not just talking about materialistic things. I made good friends here like you know, and there's some other people here that's very close to me that I've met through the game of sports, and only because I was here in Houston.
Well, Campbell is in his 7th National Football League season. The Hugh he says he will miss is Hugh Campbell, who happens to be the Oilers' new coach this year. He's winless, by the way. Linebacker Brad Van Pelt and the Minnesota Vikings have had a row going on ever since the Giants traded him over during the offseason. Well, today it ends. Van Pelt, the Michigan State product, has been dealt the L.A. Raiders. Compensation, a 6th-round draft pick next year, and a number 2 coming up in 1986. Oh, yeah, we've got one more baseball item from up the coast from San Diego. John McNamara has turned his nose up at the job of managing the California Angels next season. The club offered McNamara a contract extension, but has virtually no direction set for itself. McNamara figures he does not need the grief of running a club which can't figure out if it wants to go with the aged free agents or the young hopefuls. And of course, coming up this week, Mort and Carmen, we've got the hockey season starting. The Red Wings will open up in Chicago, and the Pistons open up the NBA season.
And then there's the Tigers tomorrow night.
Tigers tomorrow night, and then they'll be back home on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if they need it.
Listen, I didn't see Jim Burke out there. Is he also here?
No, Jim is busy working on other stuff, and he'll be back in here tomorrow. We're all over.
Right, and Kayana Kasarian, we don't want to leave anybody out since we were talking about the entire...
You've got that cast of supporting people back there.
Cast of
Hundreds of
thousands,
them.
yes.
Cast of thousands.
Brian Teglin and his worker bees have been putting together a forecast for tomorrow. We'll join Brian and find out what's up after this.
American Airlines announces something special in a fare. Fly to New York's LaGuardia for only $55. Choose from 8 non-stops every business day. When you can get a $55 fare in service like this, your choice to New York is clear.
We're American Airlines, something special in the air.
Life, so fragile, so precious, so important, and at times sustained only by the efforts of skilled, caring people.
Didn't get lab up here?
But the quality of the life you enjoy is also what today's hospital care is all about. That's why we continue to strive for a level of excellence that makes a full, active, productive life a reality for everyone. With today's hospital care, your chances for a longer, healthier life have never been better.
Okay, miss. What's with the phone booth?
Oh, we're just proving a point.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Well, the fact is the Toshiba BD3301 is so small you can fit 26 in an ordinary phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so sophisticated. Advanced fiber optics, a fast 12 copies a minute.
Edge-to-edge copies, Joe?
Nice set of prints, ma'am.
That's Toshiba, Joe. Quality in, quality out.
Frank, maybe you better call this in.
Can't, Joe.
Why not?
Phone booth full of Toshiba copiers.
Uh-huh.
Have a nice vacation.
Thank you. Just think, tonight we're going to be having dinner in Cleveland.
For over 50 years, helping people save for their dreams has been one of our ideals. Now, our 12-month deposit accounts have a new guaranteed high interest rate of 10.75% with interest compounded monthly. So you'll earn interest on your interest. Stop in any of our offices and ask about our one-year time deposit accounts. Manufacturers Bank.
That's my bank.
Her name is Josephine, but she could be Mean Josephine as far as NASA is concerned. Hurricane Josephine is spinning 75-mile-per-hour winds east of the Bahamas tonight. She could pose problems for Saturday's Florida landing of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Meanwhile, up in space, the shuttle crew fixed a cooling problem that sent cabin temperatures into the 90s. The 7-member crew is busy studying the Earth, including charting, or the path, of Hurricane Josephine just below them.
Josephine, of course, no threat to us. The Padres tonight, no threat to us. Well, they were a little bit of a threat early on. Brian, anything out there that we ought to be concerned about?
All in all, pretty good night. We've got some foggy conditions. That'll be our main problem. But Josephine, we don't have to worry about, and certainly not the Padres tonight. We have cloudy skies over much of the region. 64 degrees, city temperature, metro 61. Humidity is at 87%. The pressure is rising, 30.31. Calm winds. Here you see the statistics for the day. The high 67, the low 58, and there also are the records. First of all, let's start with the low temperatures this morning across the region. Basically mid-range of the 50s across lower Michigan, down to 47 degrees at Marquette up in the UP. And high temperatures today across the area, 67 degrees Detroit, 67 Traverse City, down to 57 degrees, the cool spot at Alpena today. Now, the evening satellite photo. Look at all the Gulf moisture spreading across the lower Mississippi Valley, and quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity and some heavy rainfall amounts through Louisiana into Alabama, 2 and 3 inches of that. And if you look way off to the Bahamas, there you see her. She is about 400 miles east of Grand Bahama Island, Freeport. Hurricane Josephine, or was it Mean Josephine we called her, slowly drifting to the north-northwest now, and we'll continue to track her. 85-mile-an-hour sustained winds, and some strengthening is expected tonight. Here's the National Radar Summary showing you all the precipitation that's falling coast to coast tonight, most of it right down through the south-central portion of the Mississippi Valley, and scattered showers and some thunder showers through the plain states, but closer to home, not much is happening. The low temperatures tonight, coolest spots will be in the north and northwest, 30s and 40s. pretty typical for this time of year with 50s, 60s, and even a few 70s way down in southern Florida and also in southern Texas. Tomorrow's map, well, showers and thunderstorms the same place. All that moisture coming up, wrapping around this high-pressure system with thunderstorms across the Gulf Coast. Sneaking up a little bit closer to home, we'll have rather hazy conditions. We talked earlier in the news broadcast that we might see a little bit of sun. That will be hazy sunshine if we see it at all. Here's the forecast then. For the rest of this night, skies will be rather cloudy with fog developing where it hasn't already. Maybe a little drizzle, 56.